Coming up on today's episode of Technoid, the you-know-what curse is cutting and threatening a lot of the products that we are having in America and everything, and we're going to discuss why this might actually be a bigger issue than we thought. Also today, Apple is delaying the iPad Pro to Q3 now instead of Q2, and lastly we will discuss more information on T-Mobile as they are now starting to expand thanks to the supposed merger that will finally happen and more. All that and more in today's episode, and also a very special thank you message at the beginning of this episode, so stay tuned. Yo, what's happening everybody? Michael here, welcome back to Technoid. Now guys, before we start this video today, before we start anything at all, any news, I have something to tell you guys. I think you guys noticed by now, we did it. 1,000 subscribers. 1K people, we did it. Now, I could start screaming like a madman in here, but you know what? I'm gonna let my buddy Tony Ferguson explain how I feel right now.
Whoa! Amazing!
Guys, it is so awesome. I cannot believe that I have done this. I actually am planning, as I promised, the 1,000 subscriber video special. If you guys want to be a part of it, more details will come in the coming week. And if you want to be a part, I will explain more, as I said. And also, I just want to take this time, guys, and really speak to you on a personal level, like, you know, heart to heart. I've been doing YouTube for a long time now. This isn't my first go at it. I've been doing it since 2011. I was just a kid. I wasn't taking it seriously. I was doing it for fun. It wasn't until 2.5 years ago when I finally started to wipe the slate clean and decided to do YouTube. After a while, you guys could look back at my old videos. I was all over the place. I wasn't sure what I wanted to do until I finally discovered the tech industry and really loving the passion for what I do. And now that is my new course. And being on YouTube for 2.5 years, growing in this time frame, even though some of you will say, oh, it took you too long to get it, I don't care. Being able to reach the 1,000 mark has encouraged me and shown me new ways to improve, to grow as a content creator, and also to interact with fans and people that like me. And I really want to take this time to thank each and every one of you for those dislikes, for those likes, for coming back to watch more, for subscribing and just being a fan of my show. Thank you guys so much for helping me through this journey. And for those of you that have seen me since the beginning, the OG ones from the 10 subscriber days, thank you for watching me take this trip since then, and I really, really appreciate every single one of you. Now let us hope for the next 1,000 subscribers and many more years to come, or whatever happens. But thank you guys so much for 1,000 subscribers. It really, really means a lot. Now, with all that said and that out of the way, let's get right into it. So story number one, we're gonna focus on Apple today. So guys, listen. As you know, there is a very deadly thing happening. And because I've just been informed that YouTube is actually censoring and taking videos off feeds if you say this word. Now, because we can say this word, and not only will it cause the demonetization and also this and that, I'm not in it for the money. I could say it, but I want you guys to see my videos. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna say the CV. So abbreviated. So YouTube cannot take me off, and also they cannot silence the video. So please bear with me. If I say this word, they will not show the video and you guys won't be seeing anything. So story number one has to deal with that CV. So the CV is really starting to pick up a lot of problems, guys. It is not as bad as, you know, people are saying, but it is on the point where this might actually lead to something very, very bad. And guys, I don't want to scare anybody, but it can affect a lot of things. And right now it is affecting companies. The Apple has not been able to send their employees to China because of the CV. They had to cut down delays in all of their manufacturing processes. And right now there are analysis saying that Apple's iPhone products are going to be in big, big delays if this CV is not treated by the coming months. Now, this is where it gets complicated because the iPhone SE 2 or the iPhone 9, whatever version they're calling it, that's okay. That's already in pre-production. That's gonna be fine. It'll meet its deadline. But we're talking iPhone 12 and other models. These models are the ones that could be affected, the delays, because Apple usually starts this process usually within 6 months of the year, so half of the year before September. So we're looking at June, even July. And the problem is this CV is really causing a lot of problems. It is causing to the point where people cannot go back to work without being scared. Now, you're probably saying Apple can move their factories to other locations. They could probably do something different, but you've got to remember something, guys. The parts and the manufacturing pieces that these phones use come from China. So if they went to places like India, or if they went to other locations in the world, Europe, anywhere, you need these parts from China, and that's where most of it is located. And the CV is causing a delay, and this could spill bad news because the media is spilling this stuff and really back on it. Now listen, I am a tech guy. I'm not a scientist, I'm not a doctor, I'm not anything, but common sense tells me that this thing is causing a lot of problems for the industry, and it's going to lead to many, many more. So all I can say is that I hope that we get these things cleared up, and I hope that they can finally figure out a way to contain this thing, because it is pretty much all over China now, the CV. Even in America, there are some cases, but at least in America, it's more easier to be treated. But this is a real danger. This is an actual thing that is spreading, and it's happening right now. That is the scary part. Now, I don't want to freak you guys out. I know what people say, oh, you have more chances of getting the flu, blah, blah, blah. I don't care. This is something that's happening right now as we speak, and there is no treatment for it right now. So we have to be very cautious and take care of everything. And honestly, this is going to affect a lot of things. So I will be covering this story more and more as we keep going, not on the CV, but what's happening with production of products. So please stay tuned for any more updates, and please guys, take care of yourselves. Take your precautions necessary. Now that we're out of the way, story number 2, continuing with Apple, let's talk iPad. Now, the iPad Pro was rumored to come out in March of 2020, but it looks like Apple will be pushing that back to Q3 now. Now, the reason hasn't been too publicly verified. They are saying the reason that it might be is because of, as we discussed before, the CV, and also because Apple might want to announce this new thing, the iPad, along with the iPhones and everything that they probably going to have at their September event. So by releasing it in Q3, you will probably have a little better chance of getting sales, and also probably start your back to schools. Although it would have made sense for them to do it now, because back to school starts in April, May, June, whatever. So I don't know how to feel on the iPad Pro being pushed back, but things aren't looking too well. And last story up of the day, let's talk T-Mobile. Now, ever since the merger was cleared by the judge from yesterday's story, a lot of news outlets and everybody's covering this stuff, and they're really going into detail. And now that T-Mobile has had a chance to sit down and kind of really just figure out what they're going to do, it looks like they have now started to expand on what they're going to be doing if the merger finally settles, which could be around April or May. We have to wait and see. They are offering soon home internet at $15 a month, and also cellular device plans for $15 a month. Now, the way this works is that it's actually not $15 a month. I'm sorry, it's $50. So you get 50 megabits of home internet plus a modem and everything for $50, taxes and fees included, using the 5G signal. And also, for those who can't afford their plans, will have a $15 a month cellular plan. It will give you talk and text up to so many gigabytes, plus it will be added more and more as the months go, and it will stay at that $15 price tag. Now, this is the stuff that I'm talking about that T-Mobile can do. Because of what this merger allows, everyone was so keen on saying that T-Mobile was never going to do this, never going to do that, they're just this and that. This is what comes out of it. This is the stuff you need to see. Stop trying to bring politics, stop trying to bring big issues. Because listen, if it wasn't for T-Mobile, the cellular industry as a whole would probably not be to where we are today. It's because of T-Mobile that we have unlimited plans, basically solid. They're all unlimited, and they're the reason we have them back and are standard. They're the reason why we have things included in our cellular plans for the money that we pay. It is because of them that the prices have had to influx with taxes and fees, etc. And T-Mobile is like the maverick of the cellular industry. They have made Verizon and AT&T, the two biggest players in the game, shaken up. Anything that T-Mobile does, they try to do. So, lesson learned, T-Mobile knows what they're doing. And by acquiring Sprint, doesn't create a monopoly. It just creates a better choice for America, in my opinion. And I'm not trying to get political here, but if you look at their track record, what T-Mobile has done for the industry and what they're able to do now, they can get things done in a big, solid plane, and it will change up the gaming field. But of course, there are always going to be people that don't believe this. They're going to say it's not going to happen, this and that. You know what? There's no convincing you. That's fine. But the average American, the average consumer that sees the benefits for themselves are the ones that are going to benefit. Not your preaching of why it's not going to happen or if it's a dead deal, etc. So that's all I've got to say. That is it for today's episode of Technoid. Guys, again, this is a very serious episode. I wanted to have fun with it, but due to the circumstances of what's going on, I couldn't really get too friendly today's episode, but hopefully tomorrow we will have more news and things to go. That is it for everybody. That is it for me. Once again, thank you so much for 1,000 subs, guys, and I hope we get more. As always, hit that like button and turn on your notifications when you hit that subscribe button. As always, guys, thank you so much for watching, and peace!